Tonight on Jim's Talk Africa, my guest is Wisdom Ezekiel, co-founder and executive director of the Pertinence Group. He tells the story of going from being a street hawker to becoming a global businessman tonight on Jim's Talk Africa. Please like this video and leave a comment below. Let's know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button and share this video with somebody else.
From Cape Town to Cairo and from Mogadishu to Dakar, this is Jim's Talk Africa. And now here's your host, Chim Onyibilanma.
Hi there, and welcome to this segment of your show. Like I told you in the introduction, we have a very interesting story for you today. Wisdom Ezekiel is my guest. Wisdom, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Wisdom Ezekiel is a businessman, very involved in the real estate market. I mean, you are a testimony of God's mercy, because you shouldn't be where you are today. And you came to Lagos to learn as an apprentice.
Yeah.
Like we do, the Igbos from the east of Nigeria come into Lagos, get a master where they learn how to trade. What was the trade you came to learn?
That was in 1996. I came to learn electrical parts.
So tell us what happened.
Okay. The journey started from the village. You know, those days when we go to the village for Christmas, and I see a number of our village guys come to the village with their cars, with everything. And when you ask them, where do you come from or where do you live? They say it's Lagos. And I say, wow. A number of them I ask, they say Lagos. Somebody's opening a house somewhere, and you ask them, oh, where did he come from? Lagos. I say there must be something in this Lagos. So we are all going to the Lagos. That was how, fast forward many years later, my elder sister, who happened to be our third born, her husband had an accident, and the accident happened very close to where we lived, and we're the one that took care of him, pending when the wife will come. And when they came, they too were in Lagos, and they were telling me all the good things about Lagos, and I said I was going to Lagos. So I was willing to abandon my education. Then I was in JSS 2, and I abandoned the education because
JSS 2 is second year in high school.
That's more like a second year in high school.
High school, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't mind abandoning school to pursue that dream. All along, I've always wanted to make money and be rich. So that was one of the things that inspired me. And I joined them to come to Lagos, and I started serving. I think I served for 4 years. After that 4 years, my elder sister, who brought me to Lagos, died.
She died, or she was killed?
Yeah, she was killed, if I would say that. She was killed because after she died, the autopsy revealed that she died of food poisoning.
So you were devastated by her death, but you found the strength to go on, to either go back to school, or because now you couldn't continue the trading. So how did you find the strength, and what was the next step for you now? Okay,
the strength was finding God early. The strength was in giving my life to Christ, because I attended a church called Calvary Bible Church, and it's been led by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, and he was one of the people that took me from that age and started molding me. It was the father I never had, you know. So it was a family I found. So because I found that wonderful family, it gave me direction. It gave me, you know, hope that
you felt you could try again.
Yes, I felt I could try again. I felt I could push things in life. I saw how he started the church. I knew when the church started. I wasn't a member then, but I knew when it started because I was serving then, so I knew when it started. And I saw how the church grew. I saw how he also grew. And I felt that this is a young man that grew this way. If I'm committed under his mentorship, I will also grow that way. So that was the motivating factor. Until today, I don't joke with him because he remains my mentor for life. He was one of the major inspiration that took me from where I used to be to where I am. It was the inspiration that God supplied me. It was a father that I never had, and that was really the center point for me.
But even when you restarted, you kicked after your sister's death, you faced blockages and failure. You tried to go back to, is it the Federal Technical College or what?
Yeah, when my sister passed on, I came back to Lagos quite all right and tried to serve again, but it wasn't working. I left to go to school. I started Government Technical College, that's somewhere in Ikotun in Lagos. And I tried doing that. I was working part-time, I was schooling part-time. It was not easy. I couldn't even afford the money to be able to further the education. So I just had to stop at a particular time, took the final exam that they call it NAPTEP. I took that exam and I felt that I was done with that. I needed to just go and work and make money. And that was how I started as a foreman working with an engineer. It's unfortunate that the man is also gone to be with the Lord right now. But that was also another man that I had an encounter with. Now, what happened? When I started schooling, my elder sister's husband, who happened to be the one I was serving, didn't like the fact that I was schooling, one, and I was also living in his house. And he wanted to, go on with his life, with other things, and all of that. So he didn't like it, and I think he was looking for a way to push me out of the house. And eventually one day something happened in the house, and he just called me and said, tonight you are going out of my house. That night I left. I didn't know where I was going. So I took my things to my elder sister, who happened to be in Pangrove in Lagos State. And but I was working with that engineer. I couldn't leave the job. That was where I was making the small money I was using to sustain myself and do the little schooling I could do. So when I came to work that day, unlike me, I don't go to work late. Notice that I came to work late. What happened? By the time I spoke to him about it, he said, wow, okay, don't worry. We'll fix something. So after work that day, he said, let's go to my house. And when I got to his house, he said, don't worry, you'll be here until you can find your place.
Wow.
I said, wow, this must be an angel. And the most baffling thing was that he just called his wife and said, baby, this is the wisdom I've been talking to you about. And he's going to be staying with us for a few weeks till he can find his own place. Just accept him. And she said, wisdom, you're welcome. And that was all. I stayed in that man's house for 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah. And I worked with him with all my heart. His name is Lawrence Okandeji.
The one that's going to be with the Lord.
He has gone to be with the Lord, unfortunately. And he's one of the people that keep inspiring me even when...
So God brought several people
angels
into
my
your
way.
life.
Several people.
To help you along the way. And there's so many things that came your way, and we can't go into all of that, but you did come to a stage where God helped you have a major door that led into growth. You said it was like 10 years ago.
Okay, a little above 10 years ago, we founded, myself and my business partners, Dr. Sunday Olorunsheyi, we founded Pertinence Limited, which has grown now to become Pertinence Group. Our vision was simply enterprise development and people empowerment. And what we wanted to do was, starting out in life, we have always wanted to become rich. We have always wanted to succeed and wanted to do it the right way, and we felt that we had struggled enough. So at the particular time, we set ourselves and said, what will it take for us to succeed? We have tried many things that failed. In the journey, in the course of my life, I've done a number of things. Up until these 10 years I'm talking about, I have sold video games, I've sold, hawked in the street. I used to go to Alaba International Market to buy CDs to come and sell around the vicinity. I joined the choir because of economic interest, because the choir is a large place. So when I sell my CDs, the choir will buy my CDs. So I was the CD distributor for the choir. So I just looked for all avenues to make money. So that thing has always been there. So we did a lot of things. Myself and Dr. Sunday Lawrence, we did a lot of things. I remember there was this eatery manager who went to market some of our CDs too. I also had seminars on DVD that I was marketing then. Went to market it to the man, and the man sat us down there for like 1 hour waiting for him. Eventually, when he came, he said, "Where are those boys? So what do you have for me?" By the time we presented, he said, "You should have done your research before you came here. Can you please give me a break? I'm working." We left there, and just like we always do, we laugh about it and we moved on. A few years later, I went to that eatery.
That speaks to your resilience.
Yeah.
The fact that nothing will get you down.
Nothing gets me down.
Failure is just another step forward.
Failure is part of success. That's what people don't know. If you have not failed, you have not started succeeding. You must see it from that angle that failure is part of success. So when we left there, I told my partner, I said, "Don't worry, very soon we'll buy this building." And to be sincere, a couple of those things have happened, and we have had to buy some of those buildings. I got to that building one of the days, I was just looking at the man, he was still there serving, and I can afford to buy the entire company where he was working, But this was somebody he sat down there and treated anyhow. That's why today I respect people. I don't treat people anyhow, because you don't know what their future is. But fast forward, we did all kinds of things, hawked on the streets, did all kinds of things. We used to go to Ogun State to buy all these food items to come and sell in Lagos. We did all of that until we found where God wanted us to pitch our tent. What did we do? We asked the question, what exactly would God want us to do? Where does God want us to pitch this tent? And God inspired us that there are many people who want to become millionaires. There are many people who want to make it in life. Can we make our vision to help them make it? So our vision becomes to help other people succeed. And what God told us was that if we can raise 100 millionaires, we cannot remain a thousandaire. I don't know whether that makes sense. That if you can raise 100 millionaires, you won't remain a thousandaire. And we're not yet millionaires in physical terms, but we're millionaires in our hearts. So we went on the journey of raising millionaires. And we told ourselves that in 5 years, we'll raise 100 millionaires in 5 years. In less than 5 years, we have done over 1,000 millionaires. Over 1,000 people have been able to go through our process, and today they can say they are millionaires. I did my 40th year birthday a few months ago, and I was happy to see close to 40 people who have gone through our system who are now multi-millionaires. They're not just millionaires, they are multi-millionaires. They are people who are doing businesses in billions. I was able to see them, and they came around, and I was happy that this is the vision that we had, and we are seeing them being fulfilled. So what was our break? Our break was when God told us exactly what to do. That rather than looking at how to become millionaires, try and see how you can make others become millionaires. And we focus. That's why in our business we say our real business is not real estate. Our real business is enterprise development and people empowerment. We're only using real estate as a vehicle to achieve that particular aim. And that's what we have been doing over the last 10 years, and it's been very successful.
Over the last 10 years, what are the challenges you've faced?
Challenges that we've had, it's been a lot of challenges. So I think when we started, especially when we adopted real estate as one of our major tools of empowerment, we decided to start putting out our product out there. And the first day we announced our first product, somebody bought, and it was wow, it was like a breakthrough. Somebody just bought. We felt that that's how it will continue.
You bought a portion of what you were offering? Yeah, I
bought like a plot of land, and we were very happy at that. But 3 months down the line, there was no patronage. It was a huge revelation that I thought people would be buying
every day.
Every day. But as we do, we always go back to God to say, what is happening? We discovered that there were a couple of things we were not doing right. For us to have the first person buy the first month or the first day, and 3 months later, nobody is buying. We decided that, okay, we're going to crack the code. And we said, okay, what are we selling? Who are we selling it to? How can we make them buy? We discovered that the people we were selling to could not afford to buy it and pay the money at once. So we decided to break it down. We even increased the price, but made the entry very easy, and that was the breakthrough. And it was just surging in and all of that. So, and that code that we also cracked. Before now, we organize seminars, just trying to survive. A few things that we know, a few people we know, bring them together, organize seminars, and wanted people to come, pay to, attend the seminars. But it was very devastating sometimes when you see the number of people that come for the seminar. My business partner used to say that one time we had 8.5 people. One time we had 2. As we used to have one funny way of describing it. But the long and short story was that people were not attending the seminar. In most cases, we have to go and call a couple of our friends and just come and fill up the space. But we wanted to now start organizing seminar for the business we have started, and we needed people to attend. And that was the second code that we cracked. What did we do? We're the first in the history of whether Nigeria or Africa to start that particular system, where you have a system where we call it promo launch. So we have a new project, we want to launch it to the public. So we promise that somebody is going to win a free plot of land, and that person is going to win a free trip to Dubai, and that person is going to win a couple of prizes. But the entry will be ticketed. So you buy a ticket to attend the seminar. After the seminar, we'll do the promo launch and we'll do the prize giving. And the first time we did it, the hall we used was jam-packed.
Fill to capacity.
People who could not fill a 50-seater has now
when you were having 8.5.
Now we are now using over 500-seater, and we're filling it up. In fact, we started doing that all over Lagos, and at a particular time, we couldn't get a hall that could contain the crowd. So we had to stop. Because even when we raised the cost of the ticket, people kept coming because the content was rich and the attraction was very strong. So that's one of the things that God helped us to crack, and that took our business to the next level. Because of the kind of business we do, we have several challenges. One of the major challenges that you will always have in business is the challenge of people. People to trust, people that can be loyal, people who are competent, who can do the job without supervision. Those are the major challenges that we usually will have in the course of running business. But one thing about challenges is that for every great person, challenges are like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You have to keep eating it for you to keep growing up. That's what makes you strong and make you... challenges are opportunities. Whenever you see them, anytime a challenge comes to you, know that an opportunity is somewhere around the challenges. So that's how we have been able to move things through, and God has helped us to today.
As a child of God in the marketplace, you sense a call to represent Jesus there. How do you reconcile that with all the different things that comes, especially in a context where there's a lot of corruption?
Okay, I think one of the things that formed our core value in our organization is what we call purity. So when people use things like passion, integrity, we represented our own integrity as purity because we wanted it to be pure integrity without spot. We have had opportunities where we had things to do with a couple of organizations, and the way some corrupt organizations work, and they wanted you to change a couple of figures, and we had to walk away from it. We've had things that we could not do because we wanted to keep with our integrity. One of the things people know about us, and that's what has brought us thus far, is the fact that we don't promise what we cannot do. Every time we promise something, we want to see how we can keep to it. We run a couple of things that people patronize us on, and you can go and verify, just like our people used to say, go and verify. You can go and verify. We have people who have very wonderful testimony. Yeah, you can't have 100%, people talking about you, but from our own end, we have done our best to maintain our integrity, because as Christians, we can't joke with our integrity. We are the God that people don't see. When people look at us, they should be able to see God They should be convicted that, oh, this person behaves like God. The Christians were not called Christians because they said they were Christians. It's because people saw them and said these people were Christ-like. They were behaving like Christ. And that's why they were able to relate with them. Today we have done great works, but we have done them with integrity.
Wisdom, yours is a story of rag to riches.
From -0
to maybe minus 100.
You know, some people say it's from 0 to hero. Our own was from -0 to hero.
What have you learned about the way to success?
Okay, I think the way to success is number one, God. All right? God is the reason why we are where we are today. If you can stay put in a place where God keeps inspiring you, you will never fail in your life. That's one. Number two is people. If you're able to find the right people, whether you call them mentors, you call them friends, you call them associates, you call them partners, if you find the right people, it is very sure that you will go very far. He said that if you show me your friends, I will show you your future. You know, people are very important in the journey of our life. We cannot succeed without people. Then the right principles. If you are able to live by the right principles and hold on to the things that are your convictions and hold on to it very well. I've had opportunities to deviate. I had opportunity to be distracted, you know, but I never gave in to such opportunities. Growing up, it will interest you to know that I got married as a virgin, you know, and it's rare to find a young man who kept himself until he got married. It's very rare to find that. I found my wife, she was a virgin, I was a virgin, so we never knew anything different from that. You know, anything we have known is what we knew with each other. You know, how did I do that? It was a commitment I made ever before I came to Lagos, that I'm not going to defile myself. It's more like what Daniel said. I was not going to defile myself by the king's meat. I'm going to live by my own standard, which is the standard of God, and the outcome was 10 times better. And most of the people who probably didn't live like this, sometimes when I look back and I see some of them, I am more than 10 times better. You know, if you live by those godly principles, you are sure to arrive at the right destination.
Praise God. And wisdom, the Lord has taken you to some beautiful destinations, and He's still taking you further. But we have to stop this here. Wisdom, what will be your last word to our viewers as we conclude this very inspiring story of your journey?
Well, the last word will be that no matter where you are in life, you can come up. If someone like me, who didn't have good parenting, because I never lived with my parents, I left when I was just an early teenager. I didn't have that good parenting. So I went from that young boy who was prophesied to be a bad person to become the very good person that I am today. I went from not being able to have the right education because I didn't go to school. And I taught myself how to read, I taught myself how to write, I taught myself virtually all the education that I have. You know, it was when I started now making money that I was able to go back to school and started having 1 or 2 education here and there. But it was never there in the background of my life. Some people say I graduated at 22, I graduated at 25. I never had such luxury. You know, if a guy who did not have such luxury can rise from nothing to become something, handling a business that is now a global business operation in different countries of the world, you know, handling a business that have raised over 1,000 millionaires, you know, around the world, handling a business that have over 8 subsidiaries, and we're doing very well in the real estate sector. If I can grow to become that kind of person, then anybody has a chance at success. You know, when they used to say, some people say they are poor, we will say that we are not poor, we are poor, P-O. The O-R is not there. we are less than poor.
Okay, you're poorer than poor.
We are poorer than the poor. But if somebody who was poor can go from poor to prosperity, then anybody who believe in this, you know, the Bible said, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to them that believe. That's practically my story, coming from -0 to hero.
Wonderful, wonderful, inspiring story. And that's been Wisdom Ezekiel, a businessman and a man with a story of God's help. Thank you so much, Wisdom, for sharing your story with us here. And we do look forward to seeing what God will still do with you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this time.
Hi there, and welcome back. I do trust you were blessed by that wonderful testimony of wisdom. Wow. But before we go, I just want to share with you a burden on my heart. And if you've been following this program, you know that this has been a constant burden in my heart. But today, I just want you to consider the fact that in this world where there are about 7.7 billion people, there is still 2.1 billion people who have no gospel. We're talking about individuals in some places who have not heard for the first time that Jesus died for them. There are people, there's 41,000 souls dying daily and going to hell without the gospel. Think about that. Think about that. And my question is, what must we do differently? We can't just continue to do the same thing and hope that they will get it. The fact is that sometimes we are preaching around the same place. And we need to move this gospel into regions beyond where it has not reached. Among the unreached people groups, people on the Indian Ocean, people in different parts of Africa, in Northern Africa. I've mentioned some of this in this program. But the question I'm asking is that what can we do differently to speeding the spread of the gospel? What can you as an individual do differently? I want you to take up this question. It should be something in our heart. We should be in the forefront of engagement and involvement. Every one of us has been given the Great Commission. We might not be called to go, but we are called to send. We're called to give. We're called to pray. So use the information on the screen. Let me hear your thoughts on this question of what must we do differently to hasten the pace of reaching those who have never heard. Use the information on the screen. Contact us with those information. Or maybe you want to get involved in missionary work. We'll be glad to help you. This is where we draw the curtain. I'll see you same station, same time next week. Bye for now. Please like this video and leave a comment below. Let's know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button and share this video with somebody else.